Mediants. If you have any questions about primary mixture, secondary mixture, or double mixture, be sure to first watch my lessons on mixture. Tonality is the arrangement of musical tones and chords such that they make a hierarchy of relationships and stabilities with tendencies and directionalities between tones. The tonic is the center of a tonality, and all other tones fall in a hierarchy around it. Music feels as if it can contextually come to rest and resolve on the tonic tone or triad. In common practice Western music, the dominant is a fifth above the tonic, and the subdominant is a fifth below the tonic. Jean-Philippe Rameau referred to the tonic, subdominant, and dominant as the pillars of tonality. The mediant is a third above the tonic, and the submediant is a third below the tonic. The supertonic is a second above the tonic, and the subtonic is a whole tone below the tonic, while the leading tone is a half tone below the tonic. The leading tone often replaces the subtonic in minor keys, and it resolving to the tonic is a salient feature of common practice Western music. This lesson specifically examines the mediant and submediant, which we will collectively call mediants. Mediant relationships include the tones a third above and below the tonic, the chords a third above and below the tonic, and the keys a third above and below the tonic. Mediant relationships are not necessarily confined to just the tonic, but are relative. There are three types of mediant relationships, which are referred to as diatonic, chromatic, and doubly chromatic. Diatonic mediants are contained within the key. If the tonic is major, then both the diatonic submediant and mediant are minor. If the tonic is minor, then both the diatonic submediant and mediant are major. The tonic shares two common tones with each of its diatonic mediants. Chromatic mediants, on the other hand, share one common tone with the tonic. If the tonic is major, the chromatic submediants and mediants are all major. If the tonic is minor, the chromatic submediants and mediants are all minor. Doubly chromatic mediants share no common tones with the tonic. If the tonic is major, the doubly chromatic submediant and mediant are minor. If the tonic is minor, the doubly chromatic submediant and mediant are major. Chromatic submediants and mediants are primary mixture type 2 and secondary mixture chords. If you further change the quality of a primary mixture type 2 chord, it becomes double mixture. Therefore, doubly chromatic submediants and mediants are double mixture chords. Here are a couple example problems. Find the mediants to F major. You might find it helpful to do this with the key signature in place. The diatonic mediants are simply the triads a third above and below in the key. Since the tonic is major, the diatonic mediants are minor. They each share two common tones with the tonic. To find the chromatic mediants, first write the notes a major third and a minor third below the tonic, and a minor third and a major third above the tonic. Since the tonic is major, all the chromatic mediants are major. Therefore, build major triads on those notes. The chromatic mediants each share one common tone with the tonic. One of the chromatic submediants and one of the chromatic mediants are primary mixture because they are borrowed from the parallel minor. In this case, they are the D-flat major and A-flat major triads. Therefore, the doubly chromatic mediants are D-flat minor and A-flat minor. Since the tonic is major, the doubly chromatic mediants are minor. They share no common tones with the tonic. Here is another example. Find the mediants to B minor. The diatonic mediants are simply the triads a third and below in the key. Since the tonic is minor, the diatonic mediants are major. They each share two common tones with the tonic. To find the chromatic mediants, first write notes a major and minor third below the tonic and a minor and major third above the tonic. Since the tonic is minor, all the chromatic mediants are minor. Therefore, build minor triads on those notes. The chromatic mediants each share one common tone with the tonic. One of the chromatic submediants and one of the chromatic mediants are primary mixture because they are borrowed from the parallel major. In this case, they are the G sharp minor and D sharp minor triads. Therefore, the doubly chromatic mediants are G sharp major and D sharp major. Since the tonic is minor, the doubly chromatic mediants are major. They share no common tones with the tonic. Composers sometimes simplify the spellings when there are lots of accidentals. If a composer modulated from B minor to its doubly chromatic mediant, they would likely spell it as E flat major instead of D sharp major. The tonic moves very smoothly to the submediant. A tonic, submediant, predominant, dominant tonic progression, as shown in the left phrase, is a common chord progression in Western common practice music. However, the tonic doesn't move quite as smoothly to the mediant. Music theory textbooks sometimes describe root motion of down a third as strong and root motion of up a third as weak. I like to instead describe it as root motion of down a third is subtle because it sounds so nice, while root motion of up a third is abrupt because it sounds a bit jarring. The music theorist Steve Larson said this is because metaphorically the downward motion succumbs to gravity, while energy is required to push upward against gravity. The submediant and mediant can be replaced by their chromatic or doubly chromatic versions. In each case, the function remains the same. The difference is that the more remote the chord is, the more colorful it sounds. The primary mixture chromatic mediants are a little remote. The secondary mixture chromatic mediants are a bit more remote, and the double mixture doubly chromatic mediants are the most remote. In the example, these chords are arranged top to bottom, least remote to most remote, and least colorful to most colorful. Particularly in the 19th century, composers employed chromatic mediants for their color, sometimes in the chord progressions and sometimes in the key areas. Let's construct a hypothetical composition that exploits all mediants and submediants. It begins with a parallel interrupted period. The antecedent goes tonic, mediant, predominant, dominant, ending with a half cadence. The consequent goes tonic, submediant, predominant, dominant, tonic, ending with a perfect authentic cadence. The next period repeats the same material, a bit more elaborated, with both chromatic mediants in the antecedent and both chromatic submediants in the consequent. To give a sense that the composition is going somewhere, this second period is progressive, ending in a perfect authentic cadence in the dominant. The third and final period is going to be the climax of this little piece, so it is prepared by a brief dramatic cadenza ending on 5/7, further giving a sense that the composition has gone somewhere. The final period contains the doubly chromatic mediant in the antecedent and the doubly chromatic submediant in the consequent, making the climax the most colorful part of the composition. Each antecedent begins with a characteristic motivic 5/1 leap. The first consequent leaps a little higher. The drama builds as each consequent leaps higher. To further give a sense of increasing drama, the first period is accompanied by eighth notes, the second period is accompanied by triplets, and the third period is accompanied by 16th notes. The rhythm winds down in reverse motion at the final cadence. The sections in this little piece are A prime, and A double prime, making the form unisectional. The rhythm, melody, and form are intertwined with the motion of the diatonic mediants, moving to the chromatic mediants, moving to the doubly chromatic mediants. The piece simultaneously becomes more colorful and dramatic. The Pulitzer Prize-winning composer Charles Warren said that the foreground, middle ground, and background of a composition should be conceived of simultaneously, as we did here in this composition. Here is a realization of this hypothetical piece set as a nocturne performed by Susan Keith Gray.